I don't,
Well,
I wasn't thinking it would.
Okay,
Same
I
thing,
think it's just
but-
like, well, let's just morph it into this thing altogether and like,
I don't think it's something that we know.
something that I've been kicking around, that this discussion in a properly agended public meeting, I can now share with my colleagues as a discussion.
Under
And I-
interrupt 1 second, we have a POA meeting this evening down the hall, we may or may not have a lot of people come, if they see the board room here, they may not walk in.
Well, look,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Thank you all.
I've discussed this with Guillermo. I think Rod's probably, maybe I brought it up with him, but I've also discussed it with the incumbent systems and project analyst. He has a title of Chief Information Officer, exactly what you just described. And the incumbent seems very receptive to that. I think that's beyond the scope of our discussion today, but I just want everyone to know that that is something that he is actively thinking about, that at least Guillermo is aware of, and there seems to be a good degree of enthusiasm. I don't know if that's how you folks would want to title it, but just conceptually coming from the private sector.
well, and it, just like all the other stuff we've just thrown out, this is all a lot of change that would happen some months from now and take a while. And obviously, any new job descriptions and everything and new
Right.
we would be right back here with HR.
in the meantime, what are we gonna do with the
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, it's there.
Right.
Are we going to,
Well, can I back up? So what,
are we gonna vote on this? Like,
Well, I want, if you remember back, the first thing I said was, because of all this background, then we just spent all that time on the background. I'd like to ignore the special projects manager and any impacts from any,
Analyst. No.
No.
just talking about
I'd
it.
like to
Doing
ignore
typing.
the special projects
Oh,
manager.
for that purpose, yes, okay.
And any impacts on that from the decision, if there's agreement to go ahead and do the bigger, reorg later.
Yeah,
So, okay, I think I'm hearing enough people say yes to that.
I thought we were a lot past that.
So then it would be, what do we do with the systems and project analysts now? And I heard Guillermo say, I need to talk to the incumbent first.
But we're looking at the position again. We're looking at the position, not the person.
Right.
So looking at the position and then.
But they have a right to not appeal their job.
Forward, because if it is a negative impact.
So I think this is part of the thing that was not made clear at any point in this process, that a reclass, an increase to a different range did not necessarily mean that you were gonna get an increase in pay. That to me is just philosophically absurd. And so for all of I submitted the reclasses for my staff. Right, they didn't submit any of them, I submitted them. And so if their recommendations and your decisions end up making it so that they are negatively impacted, that's on me in terms of having requested this. And I quite honestly don't want any part of that.
So would you rather just withdraw the whole thing and wait until we did some kind of larger
Well,
I want to know whether staff recognizes this, right? Because when I talked about this to staff, you know, they were excited about it because there's no reclassification process that I am familiar with, and I've seen a whole slew of them where an increase to a different range, a higher range, didn't also mean an increase in pay. As worker advocates, right, you should know that if you're asking a worker to do more work, you should be paying them more. It's that easy, right? And if we're not doing that, I don't want to have a part of this.
So it does
okay, so
sound.
we asked you, do you want to withdraw it?
Yeah, I would like to withdraw all of mine.
Oh,
but we just made changes.
Right, and some of them didn't, well, the ones that do increase pay, I'm okay with. The ones that don't, I have a problem with.
well, the ones that we looked at so far and made decisions on, administrative decision, assistant that was. Yeah, you went to a higher level. So now we're looking at, yeah, this last one, do you want to withdraw it or not?
Well, I guess my question is.
There's a question on the table, so do you want to withdraw
Would-
this special, the systems?
Not if you're willing to pay a worker who's doing more work.
It's a yes, no question.
It's not a yes or no
Yes, it
question.
is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, because
It's not.
he can't answer because of the uncertainty over the action this board is.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Okay.
But there isn't enough information. I guess it's really what I'm getting at. What I was gonna say was, we just said that conservation can have more time, and it sounds like. No, it didn't, there was no understanding that this would go to exempt. And so those costs, right, would need to be calculated so that he can have that information to know whether or not he needs to move forward. And I guess that's what I was gonna ask was, if conservation is allowed a little more time to review this, could the executive director of the board also have more time to get that information from HR?
I'm not sure what the question is, except for, well, let me try to clarify, I guess. Overtime isn't guaranteed. We could potentially look at what overtime that this position or this person has received over a certain period of time over the recent past and give a dollar amount with that. But I guess I would put the caveat that overtime isn't guaranteed, and that sounds like if there's comp time on the books, then they're receiving at least some of that in comp time. So,
Well, that's what I'm saying. like,
yeah,
don't
we could
know
provide
that,
some
but yeah,
information.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
absolutely.
Evaluate both.
Yeah, we could provide some of that information that may help contextualize and give some
Yes.
data to make some decisions there. if
That would be
helps.
helpful, because we're giving conservation a little more time. So
Yeah.
we
I-
can give. Yeah.
But I
Well, yeah, well, then ask for no more time,
But he has
Essentially,
more
yeah.
information.
That's essentially.
He has more.
okay, now he doesn't because you said it, but that ain't what,
Well-
that isn't what was going on.
Well, he said he
He
didn't
said
know.
if they wasn't getting better pay, that he was gonna take it back, that's what he said, he was pulling it. Until you just now saying something about getting more time, then
Right.
yes.
Well, because he didn't have all the information, and that is why he.
Bye. All right.
I think that it would be improper for us to continue under these circumstances. I want to say that.
Uh-huh.
Additionally, not as an action item, just to frame things. I appreciate all the work that you folks have done. I don't feel like in this specific instance, I don't feel like I need any more information because I think the decision before us is to leave the position at a 9, non-exempt, and with the uncertainty and knowledge that there's going to be some overtime pay there.
Mhm.
Or is the board prepared to go to a 12 where there is the certainty that it is going to result in increased pay to the incumbent? I don't feel like I need more information from you folks.
Well, but their recommendation.
I know what their recommendation is. I'm saying that, given the discussion with Guillermo, that there is the opportunity that we would be penalizing the incumbent by going to 11.
But I don't even know that we wouldn't be penalizing them by going
Going
to
to
12,
12,
right?
right,
I don't know
We
that.
still have that
Yes,
information.
we don't have that info.
I don't think that is.
And listen, let me just say now, because I understand it's 5 o'clock. We wanted a 2-hour meeting, we got a 3-hour meeting. Nobody told me they had to leave at any certain time. As far as I'm concerned, as long as we still have quorum here, I plan on continuing to make decisions with 3 people. I would prefer that we had 5 people in the room. I can't control that. I'd like to keep going and finish this. So, do others agree that, I mean, you sound a little reticent, John.
I am, but out of respect to everybody in this room that is not on this dais on reconsideration, I agree with you.
Okay, then, given that, let's go back to what B's been trying to say for quite a while now.
I just.
I think there's clearly some information that we would like to have before anybody tried to make a decision on this. HR, could you guys get with Guillermo and crunch out some scenarios where we could get a rough, I know that
I
this,
just asked her if she could pull over, so I report quick, actually, so.
well,
You might need to talk.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be today,
But just
and maybe it's
yeah.
better that it's not.
I was like, we were actually looking to see if it would hurt him on a 12 too, so we were just pulling that up, and it just, so we have.
Why don't you, yeah, let's not try to do it, let's not try to do it now.
Okay.
Well, let's just say, can you folks work together, answer those questions of what it does at an 11 and a 12? We will put this on, perhaps, if you think you can get it done by then, we're on next Wednesday for a quick, go basically through this process and finish this one next Wednesday. Does that sound reasonable? As part of our regular,
Work session.
work session. That, you know, that can work for you and that's gonna work for you. Okay.
Can I ask, just for clarification, then, all of the prior votes, are those standing or are those for board of supervisor staff withdraw?
From Guillermo,
Those increased pay.
Those with increased pay,
There's one with increased pay.
right,
There are two that have an increased range.
right, and that to me just does seem fundamentally unfair to ask a person to do more work and not pay them.
So
So,
then do you
So the
want
question is, do you want to withdraw
to
those two?
withdraw it?
yeah, and I'll resubmit next year once I have a chance to work through this with, the staff that's entitled. Because they will not reach the top of the range before that.
Would you mind for the record, just clarifying?
Specific position,
Sometimes it's hard with like,
Right.
being general.
So if that's the case,
It's
that
okay.
would withdraw the administrative assistant. So also let me clarify the point. Board of Supervisors, that would withdraw the pay grade. What about, I mean, are we still moving forward with the job description changes then, or are you withdrawing the job description
We'll
changes?
we'll
You wanna
withdraw, I
leave-
mean, because if we accept the job description changes, then next year when
So,
I
You won't have
reclass it,
anything, okay, so we're withdrawing all, okay. The DEI coordinator, that would be a withdrawal. It would be still accepting the local food and farm manager position, because there is a small bump to the minimum of the pay range there. And we've already talked about special project manager, that we're not doing anything with that position. And we are gathering data for next week's meeting for the systems and project.
you got that, Marla?
Yep. no,
Thanks
it's not
for
right.
asking for the clarification. That was probably good call. Okay, we're through our list. Anything else from anybody before we adjourn?